Did you know back in 1964, Ferencváros won the Europa League equivalent, bringing European trophies back to Hungary? And they're a massive club, and the last 5 years they have dominated Hungarian football. But there is a new kid on the block, the Puskas Academia, founded by Hungarian legend Ferenc Puskas. They're a club which look absolutely incredible, have fantastic youth facilities, and today we're going to be using them youth facilities and the Moneyball scouting method to make them not just Europa League winners, Champions League winners. And this video does not end until this happens, so strap yourselves in, grab yourself some popcorn. Today we rebuild the Puskas Academia. As mentioned, they're a club with fantastic youth recruitment, youth facilities and training facilities. Trust me, in Holland, that is absolutely outstanding. And their actual squad itself as well is fairly decent-ish. There's some standout players like Jonathan Levy, a 4-star Swedish winger. In fact, let's go to the nice screen to look at this. He's very good. He's got decent dribbling, finish, first touch and physical stats. Actually, as a starting winger in this league, blue everywhere seems pretty rare to see. We've got Mim in centre midfielder, who's a very determined cam. We have got a fantastic wonder kid in our hands as well in Martin Kern. We're using him as a deep lying playmaker, an aggressive one at that as well, with 16 bravery, great notch fitness and ball playing ability. So hopefully we can see the best out of him for years to come. I want to try and keep him in the team to win a Champions League, because that seems quite fun, doesn't it? And there's some other decent players in there as well. Defense a little bit older, a little bit more experienced. But as mentioned, there is a very good youth academy system. So we've got a bunch of 5-star wonder kids like Adam Umafan, obviously Kern, Lehoshki, apologies for the pronunciation throughout this whole entire video pretty much. Armin Peshki's here as well, and the development center as well. A couple of players, but most of them are now up into the first team. They are indeed. I've already done that job because I'm so far ahead. But one thing to mention here in Hungary, finances aren't a thing. Transfer value, Jonathan Levy, who's, to be honest, a very good championship level winger, is worth 700k. So in terms of the Moneyball approach, we're going to be doing it as we do. We've done it a couple of times, I think, in like the Czech Republic, I think we've done it, or possibly Croatia, where we basically are going to keep signings as low as possible, but we might not end the video with a net positive. It's just the way it works, but sometimes with FM, it doesn't quite work correctly with the finances system. But this season, because Puskas Academia didn't come in the top 2 positions last season, we are just in the Hungarian Division 1 and the Hungarian Cup. In the overview, if you win the league, you get UCL, you get Europa League qualification to become 2nd, and then the Europa Conference League qualification for 3rd and 4th. And I even think winning the league is Champions League qualification 2nd round, I believe. So we've got a long way to go. We're going to be seeing how far we can grow the Hungarian division as well. Currently sitting as the 27th best league in Europe, behind the Bundesliga 2. I reckon by the end of this, we can get it into the top 10, which would be pretty cool to see as well. So let's fire away straight in to season 1. And well, because we are going to be going a lot of seasons into the future, we're going to keep these seasons quite quick and quite fast. And we're going to kick things off with some gameplay, which is great to see, at a 1-0 lead in the Hungarian Cup final against Ferencváros. So we're going to get through and go 2-0 up as well. Now, Ferencváros are a massive side. 5 years in a row they have won the Hungarian division. So first of all, a real challenge is going to be overtaking these, which it looks like we might be able to do based on this game. I mean, Tomac does score a screamer there and make it 2-1. And sadly, we're going to give the ball away at the edge of our own box. And they're going to get back into it thanks to Bayern Romadani to make it 2-2. And, you know, they're going to show what a big club they are. They're going to make it 3-2. They're going to have a mistake at the back. It drops to Traore. He finishes at home. And we lose 3-2. Which I don't mind. First season, winning it all would be a little bit boring. Now, the Hungarian Cup, obviously, we have not won. There are players in here that were in the Hungarian team, like Barnabas Varga, who's a fantastic striker with great heading, etc. 6 cap for Hungary. Hopefully, we can fill this Hungarian team up with some players of our own as well. But obviously, using the Moneyball approach, it does make it a little bit difficult to do that. We're going to have a very different nationality team, which is going to be fun, I guess. We'll see. In terms of the actual Hungarian first division as well, we were the 2nd best team, which is exactly what I wanted to see really for this first season. Well clear of Újpest in 3rd and ZTE in 4th. 8 points off Ferencváros, not too bad at all. 6 losses, 5 draws and 22 wins. The top goal scorer in the whole league being Jakov Pulic, our striker, Croatian, consistent, likes big matches, decent physicals, good finishing, good composure, but 30 years of age. And with that sort of value, we're going to be looking to cash in, because that's what we have to do with the Moneyball approach, is cash in on players that are at at a certain age. So Pujov probably going to go. I reckon Levy's got a couple of years left in him, hopefully keeping that sort of value as well, and then we'll sell him from there. Slagver, who was great this season on 7.15, anything above 500k we should be taking for him. Same for Trotrinari at centre-back, probably a very similar system. Martin Kern in DM, very good season for him, a 7.34 as an 18-year-old is absolutely outrageous. He is already progressing incredibly well. And as mentioned, I hope we can keep him in the team for like, I mean, however long this takes really. If he's 38, we've gone 20 years in the future, maybe not then. But if he's, 30-ish, that would be fantastic to keep Martin Kern in and around these squads. Overall, with the terms of the youth intake preview, we've had a couple of great players come through. Coman and Alabescu, Vieru. Obviously, take this with a pinch of salt. Remember that sort of 4 stars is around Martin Kern level, which is good, but it's not groundbreaking. So if Coman does become a fantastic striker, which to be fair, look at the stats, he very much could do with 15 determination, 16 finishing, 12 composure, and quite slow to be honest, but he is only 16, so could grow in that department, and consistent as well. We could have a demon on our hands. In terms of our actual money, there's not a lot, 174k, which is fantastic. Finances wise, yeah, we need that European money, which hopefully now we're in the Europa League sort of qualification, we can do that. Hopefully we can qualify for the actual league phase, and hopefully we can get some money in the bank. So let's get straight in to season 2. Now, to kick things off, £4.5 million raised. That's a pretty good sales window, with the likes of Patrizio Stronati leaving, who was a decent centre-back for 29 years of age. Our star striker, Pujlic, leaving 1.8 million for a 30-year-old. I think we have to take Jasper Pisek, 925k, and Luciano Slagvier around 500k, as mentioned. So £4.5 million raised, and just 4 signings coming in. And number 1 is our brand new striker, Danilo Honcharuk, the Ukrainian striker with 14 finishing and decent speed, with 18 determination and extreme consistency, was an absolute no-brainer. And a brand new goalkeeper coming in as well, this time a 29-year-old in Ismail Diawara. The Malian goalkeeper with 8 caps was absolutely brilliant last season for AIK with a 7.44 average rating, and hopefully he can be that good for us as well, because having a strong keeper as we go into the Europa League will be absolutely pivotal. Our third signing and brand new centre-back is Danish centre-back Andreas Skovgaard. Again, consistent, decent enough physicals, decent enough mentals, and a pretty decent holy trinity of the heading, marking, and tackling as well. Last season in the Polish Ekstraklasa, the top division of that one, 20 games, a 7.23. That's a very good average rating for a centre-back, so hopefully again he can be that for us. And our final signing is a young Croatian central defensive midfielder in Marin Prekdavacac. This guy looks absolutely fantastic. Him and Martin Kern could be a DM partnership for the next 5 to 10 years. Obviously, they're probably going to leave, well, one of them is probably going to leave at some point. He's consistent, 16 determination, good defensive stats, decent physical stats as well, at 5'11", and being consistent. A little bit injury prone is a little bit worrying, but hopefully he can get past that. Last season, in the 8 games he played for his club, Osijek, he got a 7 average rating. I'm hoping for us again, if he's our starting DM, he can do the same. And that is it in terms of signings. And in terms of the tactic we're using, I have just got a Puskas tactic. It's a 4-2-3-1. If anyone wants to copy it, I want to go through the squad, you're more than welcome. Diawara in goal, Masilias at right back, Batic and Skovgaard as the 2 centre-backs, with Nagy as the left back, Kern as left CDM, with Prekdavagic at right CDM, Levy as right winger, Mim as the cam, Korbu as the left winger, and Honrachuk up front as well. It's a positive mentality. Feel free to pause and copy them, and them, and them. And I'll also remember to put this on the Patreon, as well as the game save file from the end of whatever season this finishes up at. Obviously, a massive thank you to the legends running on the screen right now that are the Patreon members. You help support me in ways you cannot imagine. For the more Kempi channel, able to do like card openings and keep bringing great content to you guys, upgrading the sub, etc. It's all thanks to legends on Patreon. You need to get your hands on this save file and the tactic as well, because as we go through, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And of course, you help support someone that is just like you guys, a normal guy making content on FM, and I hope you guys are enjoying it very, very much. That is the transfers done. We are predicted this year to get a little bit closer to Ferran Cavaros. I say that 20-1. they're a pretty good side. What we're up against is an absolute demon. Now, we have played our first Europa League phase games. They're against Neftchi, and we beat them 3-2 and 3-1. Up next is Ludogorets. Can we get past them? I'll let you guys see in just a click. Well, Ludogorets were sadly a step too far for us, beating us 3-1 in the first leg and drawing 1-0 in the second leg, and that knocked us down into the Europa Conference League qualifying. We beat Osijek in the third round because we go in at the third round from getting knocked out, and in the fourth round, if we win this, we qualify for the Europa Conference League. We went 1-0 up thanks to a headed goal from close range, and Corbu then drives it forward to find our brand new striker, Hungaruk, to make it 2-0, and we are going to concede, but this is the only goal we concede. Over the two legs, a 2-1 victory, and we're into the Conference League phase, which actually went pretty well. 6 games, 3 wins against Koops from Finland, Utrecht from the Netherlands, and PAOK from Greece, and 3 losses, a 3-1 against Newcastle, which I think is fair enough, a 2-1 loss against Celje. I think we probably could and should have beaten them as they come 27th, and a 1-0 loss to St. Gallen, who come 26th, so quite easily we could have in and around this just outside the top 8, but it doesn't matter too much because we're going into the knockout playoff round, which was against Slavia Prague, and we won the first leg 1-0 thanks to a scream up from Omnija. But back in the Czech Republic, Slavia Prague put us to the sword and we lost 3-1, which means we are out, but I'm very happy with our first display in European football. We've made it into the knockout rounds, which, even though it's just the Conference League, seems pretty impressive to me. And again, in the Hungarian First Division, we had a pretty good showing, miles clear of 3rd and 4th place, and just 6 points away from Ferencváros. It was 7 last season, 6 this season. I hope it doesn't quite go as slow as that. I hope it doesn't take us 7 years to win the title. But overall, again, a pretty decent season. Player of the matches, generally Mim was there. Ismail Dawara, top of the clean sheets list. And overall, I'm pretty happy, especially as we head into our back-to-back Hungarian Cup finals. We do go 1-0 down to Diosgyőr, but we are going to make it 1-1 thanks to Jonathan Levy, our tricky little Swedish winger, making it 1-1. And literally just 2 minutes later, we grab the third and final goal of the game as Corbu finds Nagy out of the left-back position. He cuts inside onto that right foot, puts it in the bottom corner. We win our first trophy of the rebuild. Puskas Academia are Hungarian Cup champions. And that European adventure done absolute wonders for our financial situation as well. Up to £9 million in the bank, which is absolutely fantastic. In terms of transfers, £3 million spent as well, and 7.5k in wage budget. Things are looking quite good money-wise in terms of our star performers. I don't think many of them are going to go anywhere soon either. Levy with 21 and 13. Honrachuk with 19 goals. Generally Mim in Cam 14 and 12. Nisiala 10 and 8. Koman, who was the young Romanian striker that we looked at last season with 16 finishing, actually grabbed 11 goals in just 9 starts and 19 off the bench, which is incredibly impressive. Our 2 DMs, Martin Kern grabbed 2 and 6, and Pet Kradovic with 10 assists and 2 goals as well, both averaging over a 7. So overall, an incredibly impressive second season. Can we finally win the Hungarian top division in season 3 and actually get in to the proper Europa League? And again, this summer, some fairly decent money raised, raising to £1.1 million, and we spent 2.4, so still around £1 million in net negative. And pretty much all of our money was spent on a brand new centre-back to come in and really take the reins for the next few years. It's Pontus Rodin, £1.9 million signed from Sikulaborg. The Swedish centre-back is fantastic. Great consistency, loves big matches, determined, decent physicals, great jump and reach, good heading, marking and tackling. I think we've got ourselves a future captain. And his centre-back partner, or probably a backup, is Julien Bianconnier, a French centre-back signed from Olympiacos. Again, looking absolutely brilliant. Consistency is the key. Followed up by 2 free agent signings. Number 1 as David Juncker, a Spanish left back who's very good at getting forward and crossing the ball, which is exactly what I look for in my fullbacks, with elite consistency quality as well. He's just had 3 seasons over at Poland, but has played for the likes of Girona, Vigo, Eibar and Mallorca as well. And our final signing is Thibault Verlinden. This guy, I remember him from his young days at Stoke as a wonder kid on FM and on FIFA, but he's now just a 26-year-old Belgian who's playing over at Beerschot. He's done pretty well over there, but his contract ran out. They didn't renew it. For us, he's a leading Division 1 player. He's consistent, Leipzig matches. Again, decent physicals, mentals a little bit over the place, but overall good dribbling, crossing, okay finishing, and a good first touch as well. So an exciting winger for us. And he comes in as a backup to Corbu and Leve. Horonchuk up front, Mim in cam, Kern and Pretkanovic in CDM, Biancone, Rodin, Skovgard, Juncker and Diawara in goal. Season 3 might be our year. Well, I tell you what, we've not even got to the final of the Hungarian Cup. We lost 4-3 to Ferencváros, who went on to win the whole thing, beating Diósgyőr, who seem to be a club which are getting up pretty close every time. 6th prediction, but seems to be doing bits. But we did get their Hungarian Division 1 off of them. 78 points, which was 2 points better off than last season. Wouldn't have been enough to win it last year, but it is this year, and that's what matters. A 43 goal difference, 3 losses, 6 draws, and 24 wins. 78 points. It's taken us 3 years to become champions of Hungary. Get your comments in down below. Have a guess. How long do you think it is going to take us to become champions of Europe? I'm going to guess 10 plus years. It is going to be probably our hardest one to date. Let me know down below. And I mean, this might help you out in your decision as well, because we lost 4-3 to Servette over 2 legs and got knocked down to the Conference League again. Where again, we done fairly decent-ish in the league phase. 2 wins, 2 draws and 2 losses. And you won't believe it, back-to-back seasons, we're facing Slavia Prague in the knockout playoff round. I don't know how this happens, the wonderful world of FM, and again, we go 1-0 down, but this year is going to be a different year. Pretkanovic scores to make it 1-1. Jonathan Levy whips it in, the back post, Rodin is there, and we make it 3-0 as well with our aerial superiority. That £1.9 million seems quite well spent now, as we do knock out Slavia Prague and head to the round of 16. We're in the first leg at home. We drew 0-0 to Legia, and sadly, thanks to 2 first half added time goals, we lose 2-1. And we are out again in the round of 16. Just showing, as said, how difficult this is going to be. We are now at a point where we are winning the Hungarian leagues. We are always doing well in the Hungarian Cups. But European football is a different beast, where we need to build a much stronger team to compete with. In terms of finances, again, the European money is doing absolute wonders. We have had a few players come through the youth system in terms of potential. We have Daniel Benkes, Florian Nagy, Coman, obviously the striker, a little bit of a downturn in form this year, but overall very good. And the 2 DMs are simply fantastic. Levy is at an age now where possibly we sell him, but last year getting 24 goals and 11 assists, that would be very hard to replace. And Gurgly Mim, 23 goals and 11 as well, was simply fantastic. We just need to keep growing as a club. This sort of middle stage of these rebuilds will go pretty quick as we fire up into, hopefully, we're competing for Conference Leagues or Europa League titles. So in Season 4, we sold over £2 million worth of players and brought in just 3, and they were all free. Alexander Kutitsky, who had a pretty decent year as a backup DM / centre-back, playing 35 games, averaging a 6.95 for us. It was actually a very good signing, already a value now of 3.4 million after just 1 season. Lazaros Rota is a Greek right-back. He's got 8 caps for the national team as well, and for us, you can see why. 44 games, 7 assists and 2 goals, a 7.05 consistent Leipzig matches, was a massive signing for us. And finally, Miguel Silveira, who came in as a backup cam / right winger, and when needed was very good. 7.1 average rating, 6 goals, 5 assists in 16 games. Very, very happy with how he performed. Now, this season, sadly wasn't quite as good in the Hungarian First Division, dropping to 2nd place in our worst points tally yet out of the 4 seasons. 70 points, still clear off 3rd place in Diósgyőr, but still behind Ferencváros, which is sad, but overall they are a very strong side. And possibly the most disappointing thing is we actually lost in the 3rd round of the Hungarian club. I mean, there's clubs in here that I don't even know if they're semi-pro. They're probably completely amateur. I mean, Puskas are literally not even a club, I don't think, and they've beaten us. What's that about? Obviously, this season there was a chance for Champions League football as we headed in to the qualifying rounds, but got absolutely battered by Crvena Zvezda in Serbia, losing 5-2 on aggregate. But we did get through the Europa League qualification and actually had a very successful season in this as well, missing out on finishing in the top 8 due to only goal difference. 4 wins, a 5-3 against Borussia Dortmund, beating Hearts, Mura and Galatasaray, drawing to Bruges, Wolves and Sporting, and losing again only to Newcastle. That's pretty damn successful. And in the knockout playoff round, we were drawn up against Levski. We beat them, but only just on penalties, which I'm quite surprised about because their goalkeeper, for looking for a little hidden wonder kid, Plamen Andreev, is absolutely fantastic. A 7.31 in the 34 games. Go and get him if you want a hidden wonder kid goalkeeper. But we beat them and we're into the round of 16. We played up against Real Sociedad and I'm not quite sure what happened in this first leg. Honrachuk scored to make it a 1-0 lead and we actually go 2-0 up as well. I expected to get absolutely battered by Real Sociedad, but maybe that's not going to be the case, as Norbu makes it 2-0. That's what I was expecting. 5-0, absolutely battered. But the round of 16 of the Europa League, it's the best we've done in a European competition yet, and facing up against some pretty damn big clubs. So overall, a fairly decent-ish season, I suppose. Finances, again, because we're now getting bigger and better European competitions, we are doing well. The league itself as well has taken not much of a rise, but 29th to 27th. Quite happy with that one. I think as we do better in Europe, and of course as Ferencváros do better in Europe, we should see us go higher and higher. I mean, they were also in the Europa League, got knocked out in the league phase. I mean, it could be helpful if we had 2 clubs doing well on the European stage. Sadly, they aren't going to be the ones to do it. The goal scorers this season, again, of course, Honrachuk, Tobias Verlinden and Gergely Mim, but Levy had dropped right out, so it's time to look for some new superstars. So for the first time, there was no outgoings and a few big incomings. Number 1 is Bogdan Milicetjevic, who was a fantastic Serbian right winger, and this season, lights out good. 14 goals, 18 assists in 44 games. Simply fantastic. He was doing bits over at Partizan, and this is a guy I've signed a few times now in these Moneyball rebuilds because he always grows into a superstar and he always crops up on the searches. It's kind of hard not to get someone this good. Signing number 2 is our starting new goalkeeper, Filip Samurovic, signed from TSC in Serbia. He is 25 years of age, played 60 games this season, conceding just 64 goals and getting a 6.9 average rating. And our final signing for money is Pedro Enrique. He played 41 games in the left back position, grabbing 11 assists in 4 goals. Another fantastic signing, a youngster from Brazil. 3 free agents. Number 1 is Nicolas Martial, who somehow has only played 7 games this season, as he is our backup centre back. He's worth £4.5 million. He was a free agent signing. I think we've got some pretty tidy profit on our hands. Number 2 is the guy that played ahead of him, Alexis Duarte, a Paraguayan capped centre-back with 15 heading and decent physicals as well. And extreme consistency. He was an absolute steal for free. Very, very happy. And finally, it's DM Ishmaela Rodrigo. Only played 3 games this season, but again, a free agent signing. Can't really go wrong, and we could potentially sell him right now for over £2 million. I think, again, we'd take the profit for sure. This season, again, was pretty fantastic in terms of the Hungarian First Division. Last season, 70 points and second. This season, 81 points and first, and bringing the title back to the Puskas Academia, which is simply fantastic. Past winners, things are looking good. Obviously, a previous history where they had never won it before. If you don't know much about the club, they had literally never won the league. If we check out their history, now 2 Hungarian divisions, now 2 Hungarian Cups. We'll get into how the second one came back previously, but they are literally a club that started in 2005 and have gained their way all the way to here now, which is pretty fantastic and pretty cool as well with their fantastic youth facilities. They're quite an interesting little club to pick up from. As I said, there is a final to go and look at, and it's the first time ever we have looked, considerably better then Ferran Cavros with a first goal from Honrachuk after a ball from Miguel Silveira. We're then going to have a set piece of Skovard beating the lines, finding Mim, who finds Honrachuk, beats his man and makes it 2-0. He's been a fantastic signing since day one. Ferran Cavros are going to grab a goal back from Ben Ramadani, but we're going to grab another to make it 3-1. And like I said, the second Hungarian Cup coming to the Puskas Academia thanks to a goal from Corbu. In Europe, we zoomed through our qualification stages and went all the way into the league phase of the Europa League, coming 16 points. Again, just goal difference outside of that top 8, which shows we really are progressing as a club. Victories against the likes of Prague, Dunstreda, Dinamo Minsk, Benfica, Olympiacos, and losing to the likes of Sporting and Club Brugge. Knockout playoff round again. Well, I think we're through after absolutely battering St. Gallen 7-0. And I mean, the confidence was obviously flowing as we faced up against the old lady Juventus and went 1-0 up thanks to Bogdan Miracetic. Then away from home against a sold-out Juventus crowd, we took the lead to make it 2-0 and grabbed another to make it a 3-0 victory in aggregate against Juventus. I don't quite believe it. We are into the quarterfinals. And we're up against the best and the biggest club in the world, Manchester United. And we've lost 1-0 thanks to a goal from Rasmus Højlund, but I say we're giving ourselves a chance. Well, you know what? We kind of did. We got to the quarterfinals of the Europa League, lost 2-1 to United in this game, 3-1 on aggregate. Timo Verlinden for us scoring a goal, but playing against the likes of the world's best midfielder. And hopefully, as you watch this, England's European Championship player of the tournament, Kobbie Mainoo. And again, a very successful season. Our best by quite some distance, actually, as we now sort of stake a claim to go on a bit of a run in Hungary. We are looking at challenging in Europe and winning the Hungarian Cup as well. Finances after that great run in Europe are up to £15 million, £7.5 million in transfer budget as well. And I'd say overall the squad is progressing nicely with now some very good wonder kids coming through yet again. Ogun Ajlan, Elek Richard Kakyonyi, as Losan Lovanklis in goal with Florian Nagy as well. A whole bunch of 4.5-star and 5-star players, which is pretty amazing to see because obviously as a club in Hungary, we've got a decent youth recruitment, but actually getting them to become good players is going to be the difficult point because that's much easier said than done. Let's get into the next season. And of course, when you have a season like that, a few of your best players are always going to leave. So Tibble Verlinden left for 2.8 million, Marin Prekovic left for 1.9, Martial for 1.8, and Berta for 16k. So 6 million raised, meaning we've got a bit of money to rebuild. So we spent 2 million on Nathan Deji, who was a fantastic centre-back for us this season. 1.8 on our brand new attacking right-back, Andre Dominique, who played a few games this season, did quite well when he played, but overall not probably the best signing for 1.8 million. And finally, our free agent left back in Borna Granjonovic, who was extremely consistent, loves big matches, 32 games off the bench for us, was a very decent player. But overall, quite sad. We're checkerboarding with Ferran Cavros. We cannot grab a real stranglehold on the league, which is frustrating because I want it to be just ours. The Hungarian Cup, however, I would say is pretty much just ours, especially after this one where Honrachuk is going to have the game itself of an absolute lifetime. He scores one early on and Kutski then finds him to make it 2-0 before the stroke of half time. We're going to make it 3-0 as Mim sends it out to the right hand side. No, he doesn't. He finds Honrachuk. He gets his hat trick actually already in 47 minutes. We then get a red card and then carry on to score lots and lots of goals. As Martin Kern drives from DM, shoots, and it gets deflection into the back of the net to make it 4-0. When you think down to 10 men, you start shutting up shop and being defensive. Not at all. Honrachuk makes it 5-0 in the 86th minute, and we are going to grab a 6th as well. As a ball into Duarte sets off Miguel Silveira, and he fires home to retain our Hungarian Cup for the 3rd season in a row. And well, something has happened in the fact that the Hungarian First Division has grown all the way to 19th, which means there's only one qualification round to stay in the Champions League. And we got drawn against Danish side OB and beat them on penalties, which means we're playing in Europe's biggest competition in Season 6. And we're playing there next season as well, because due to the rise of going up to the top 19, second place now gets Champions League football. of the Hungarian league. In the league phase, we come in 17th place, which is extremely respectful, better than teams like Juventus, Celtic, Bayer Leverkusen, knocked out the likes of Napoli, Villarreal, Feyenoord, Dortmund, Lazio. We're bigger than them all. We beat Feyenoord, Lazio and Slovan Bratislava, drew to Bayern Munich and Salzburg, and lost to Porto, Atletico Madrid, and a game against Barcelona at the Puskas Stadium. How awesome is that? And we were drawn up against Manchester City in the knockout playoff round as well. We're actually going to grab a 1-goal lead thanks to that brand new free agent left back, Grajanovic. Sadly, City are quite good, and Evan Ferguson is going to score to make it 1-1. And Evan Ferguson is going to score up front with Haaland as well to make it 2-1 in this one. And all City themselves are going to score a few more back at the Etihad as well. Goals from Rico Lewis, Josh Doku and Mateus Nunes. But overall, I'm very, very happy. The knockout rounds of the Champions League. It's taken until season 6, which is quite some time. But look what that has done for us. It is astronomical, the Champions League money. Now £41 million in the bank. We can now hopefully build this, the youth recruitment up to 4 stars. Training facilities now to 3.5. Hopefully we can get all these around 4.5 stars and become a real top club in Europe at developing players as well. And we have had a few come through the academy which look fairly decent. They look okay. Goals wise this season, Honchuruk again 27. We signed him at the very start for just what, 800,000. He's been unreal for pretty much every single season for us. Corbu since the start, 23 and 9 as well. Bogdan Mircevic, 11 and 9. Mim, 11 and 7 as well. And of course, still got Martin Kern in DM, the club legend. He's come through at this point. He's an absolute hero. 20 caps for Hungary. What a boy. Let's see what we can do for season 7. And well, £3 million has been raised, and we have got to a point where we're going to have to start spending a little bit of money. So 9.5 has been spent. Number 1 signing, Valigor Fredriksson, a fantastic 28-year-old Icelandic right back. A free agent signing of Filip Stevanovic. Guðmundur Boldvin Novaksson as a brilliant central defensive midfielder. Harold Tangen, a Norwegian cam. Our first regen signing in Vladimir Večerovic from Croatia, who looks to be progressing quite well. Bogdan Kostic, another Serbian from Partizan. It is just the place to go. And finally, Serbian from Partizan in Eldin Bajramovic, who this season scored 14 goals, got 15 assists, and is simply fantastic. And this season, we have gone back to being winners again of the Hungarian First Division. As mentioned, we are checkerboarding it currently with Ferencváros. This time, 85 points, it looks like. Maybe we're going to start becoming the real dominant side. The Hungarian division now 14th in rankings, so clearly rising to a very high standard. And the actual overall team is looking like so. Horanchuk in goal, Corby, Mircevic, Tangen, Kutski, Kern, Pedro Enrique, Duarte, Adeji, Fredriksson and Samanovic in goal. As mentioned, we're going to be speeding things up just to get to a point where we are starting to compete in other competitions as well. But the team is looking very, very good. Obviously, winning that was fantastic to see the Hungarian division being won. And in the Hungarian Cup, sadly, we did not retain it, losing on penalties to Kisvaria, who lost to Ferencváros. We have now won this 3 times out of these 7 seasons, so around 50% is not too bad at all. But how did we get on in the Champions League? Not great. We, for the first time, didn't qualify out of the league phase. Just a point away, which is frustrating. Losing to teams like Chelsea, Juve, Napoli, Barca and Nice seems like 5 quite hard games. We drew to Maccabi Haifa, which we probably should have won as they come down in 33rd place, and beat the likes of Besiktas and Salzburg. So overall, quite a hard draw, but sadly losing in that one. So season 7 is very, very quick. We're in, we're out. We've won a competition. The money's looking good. Lots of money to spend. Squad's looking good. Lots of players to buy and sell. It's the Moneyball way. And well, season 8 came with a big sale of that fantastic right back Fredriksson for £6 million and Stevanovic for 600k. So we spent another 7.5 million. 4.9 on a brand new centre back and one that looks fantastic as well in Tobias Palacio, 24 years of age. Incredible consistency, great physicals, good, decent defensive stats, but great positioning and a great mentally as well. A very nice player to have on the books. And £3 million on Zoran Aliovic, a Serbian from Partizan. Might as well be a Partizan real at this point, but 20 goals, 13 assists in 33 games. A goal or assist every single game with a 7.45. Picking them up for 2.7 million. You see why I do it? he's just so good. And finally, another right back coming in Victor Rogan. He does a very decent right back, 39 games this season, a 6.98. You would never guess what we've done, though. We've managed to stop the checkerboard. We have won back-to-back Hungarian divisions for the first time in the club's history, winning on 88 points, just one loss, nearly going unbeaten. A simply fantastic season. That loss as well was to Újpest, who come in third. We didn't even lose to Ferencváros. Did we draw against them at all? We did once, beat them at home, which is fantastic. But some big victories. We are just absolutely smashing it in Hungary now. The league's up to 11th, better than the Ukrainian League, the Scottish Premier League, the Serbian League. The Austrian League is only a step away. Can we break in to the top 10? As mentioned, it means we're getting pretty much now guaranteed Champions League places, risen all the way from 29th to 11th is fantastic. And it was Újpest we played in the Hungarian Cup final as well, and we did actually end up going 1-0 down thanks to a goal for Nico Paz, which is quite surprising to see in this league. But Martin Kern found Honrachuk to find Corbu to find Zoran Iliovic, who makes it 1-1. A simply fantastic player who'd never picked him up. Make sure to do it, because he's going to grab an assist here as well for a great header for Golenovic, and we do win the Hungarian Cup final. Can we have a better showing in Europe? Well, we do get out of the league phase in a much better situation. 4 wins, beating Freiburg, Juventus, Malmo and Atletico Madrid, drawing to Bayern and Besiktas, losing to Porto and Ajax, before missing out on what seems like a very good opportunity and losing 2-1 on aggregate to OGC Nice. I felt like this could have been a really good season to get into maybe the quarterfinals or semi-finals based on how we've done, based on the progression of the squads. I felt like this could have been a very good year, but sadly getting knocked out there, which isn't great to see. So let's get into season 9. And when again, we've got to that point, £13 million spent, 3.5 sold. As mentioned, sadly, the finances don't quite raise like you'd like to think they do in other leagues. When you grow a league from 29th reputation to 10th, 11th, it doesn't really correlate with the transfer values, which is very annoying. So we've had to spend a bit of money, which means the Moneyball approach is still there. I'm still using the spreadsheets, etc., but the financial side has got a little bit out of the window. Saying that, we spent just 1.5 million on our brand new left back Melvin Vucinic-Persson, who was very, very good with some fantastic speed. 2.1 on backup cam to Aliovic Andrej Subotic, the Bosnian cam, with 12 caps and 3 goals for them, has been a very good rotating option. Our new superstar striker in Hugo Gutierrez, 15 finishing, 16 composure, great physical stats, 25 goals and 9 assists with incredible consistency and loves big matches. I'm sure he's going to get picked up fairly soon. 5.5 million from Chivas, 19.7, a 7.57. What a signing. And finally, our brand new goalkeeper in Magnus Helmgaard, the 21-year-old Norwegian capped international, was absolutely fantastic. 46 games, 37 goals conceded only, a 7.16, 7.15 last season and breakout year at Molde. He is an absolute superstar. And led us to back-to-back Hungarian League wins, which is wonderful to see. We have now made this league our very own. We have Hugo Gutierrez as top of the goal scorers charts, Gutierrez, Bajramovic and Aliovic at the top of the average ratings, and Hugo as well at the top of the player matches, and Magnus at the top of the clean sheets by 7 as well, which is fantastic. Our only real step in the Hungarian division now was to try and go unbeaten at some point, which would be pretty cool, but 3 in a row is awesome. Sadly, ended up 1-0 losers to Ferencváros, even though we scored the winning goal. It was just in the wrong net. And again, in the league phase, we managed to qualify in the sort of 9th to 24th range. 3 wins, beating Levski, beating Barca at home is historic, and Rennes, drawing to Porto and Napoli, and losing to PSG, Copenhagen and United. And this time we're facing Bayer Leverkusen in the knockout playoff round, and Hannibal Mejbri putting Jonathan Tah in the box to find Wimmer to make it 1-0. Before we got back at Bayer Leverkusen with Notkovatsen finding Gutierrez driving through on goal to make it 1-1. And then home leg, we are going to make it 2-1 as well and take a lead to protect back in Germany after a great finish from Kostic from close range. And protect that lead is exactly what we done after drawing 1-1, which means we're going to the round of 16. Where sadly in the home leg, we lost 2-0 to AC Milan, and the away leg losing 2-1. Hugo Gutierrez getting on the score sheet for us, but for them, Naipan scoring, which I guess is pretty cool. I mean, if it couldn't have, that'd have been great, but a £200 million player up against our measly £3 million midfielders seems a little bit unfair, but pretty cool that he has developed into what he has developed. As you can see though, now we are making progressions pretty much year on year in Europe, which is fantastic to see. So I suppose we'll get straight into season 10. We sold Eldin Bajramovic for £6 million, and that's pretty much our only big sale, and spent around 14. Number 1 is Dejan Savic, a Serbian that actually signed from Newcastle after leaving from there to go from TSC for him to go to Newcastle. A very solid centre back. Anders Asum was number 2, a Norwegian DM. Adriel, number 3, a Brazilian centre back / left back. And the 4th and final in João Vitor, a incredibly quick, determined fullback who loves to whip a ball in, who didn't really play too much this season. And maybe he should have, because we have lost a Hungarian title. That seems like a very, very poor season. And what makes it even more poor is we've lost in the 3rd round to Vesprem. How's that happened? Look at their club info screen. Look at it's a little bit different, isn't it? 5-star youth recruitment, 4.5-star training facilities. How's that happened? Especially when you consider the fact we're getting through in the Champions League phase, beating Barcelona in back-to-back seasons, Salzburg, Shakhtar, Braga, losing to Besiktas and PSG only by a goal apiece. But yet we can't get past the 3rd round of the Hungarian Cup. And when we beat Besiktas as well over the 3 legs, 3-1 in the knockout playoff round, which is again, we're going to the round of 16. And again, just getting battered by Manchester United. And Rashford's still there, which is cool, but 10 seasons in and we can't get past the round of 16. It's a proper grind, these rebuilds. These Moneyball rebuilds are very fun to make. I love actually making them and seeing the slog of getting to this point. But sometimes you get a little dip of a season like this and it brings you down a bit. And maybe we need to move on from the 800k striker in Honchuruk, who is probably a club legend at this point, but maybe isn't good enough anymore. Interesting to see, is there any actual legends? There is a couple. I don't know if any of them are ours. We've got Gregory Mim as a player and us as an icon, which is pretty cool. Favoured personnel: Kostic, Gutierrez, Aliovic, Korbu, Stepanenko and Bajramovic. Not even the club really like Danilo anymore. So it's certainly time for a big season in season 11 and a brand new player up there. And there was £1.6 million worth of players sold, with Danilo Honchuruk leaving to join Shakhtar. Club legend, thank you very much. Just 4 free agent signings coming in for us. Number 1, a backup winger in Charlton Dier. Number 2, another backup winger / starter in Heriberto Jurado, who is a fantastic Mexican wonder kid. Number 3, Elias Splinter, now 29 years of age, from the Alkmaar Academy, coming in to be a backup DM. And the final one, and by far my favourite signing of this rebuild, Mikey Moore, the Spurs wonder kid legend. Hasn't really progressed that much, but I saw him and I couldn't help myself but bring him into the club. So Mikey Moore is here. He's played 87 games at 26 years of age. I mean, how's that happened, Mikey? Well, you're here now in Hungary to try and help us lift the Champions League. And we did help us lift the Hungarian division again, winning on 77 points with a 57 goal difference. But again, we've bottled the Hungarian Cup. I mean, at least this time we've lost to Ferencváros 1-0 rather than some very amateur side. And well, it's gone back to the point in the league phase that we are out of goal difference away from getting into the top 8, which is pretty good to see. 5 wins against Lille, Spurs, Bayern, PAOK and Shakhtar, beating some massive sides in there, showing we're maybe ready for a real title charge. Drawing to Real Palace and losing to just Atletico Madrid and Barcelona. Things are looking on the up, but it's the round of 16. No, it's not. It's the knockout playoff round again. We were drawn against Samsunspor. I don't know how they've got here, but we've battered them 3-0 with a Gutierrez brace and a goal from our centre-back Dejan Savic. Before facing up against Napoli in the round of 16, a game we could actually potentially win, and maybe we are going to. Gutierrez makes us 1-0 leaders in 29 minutes, and in the 90th minute, we score again from a set piece as Mikey Moore finds Mirachetovic to make it 2-0. In the away leg, we did lose 1-0 thanks to a goal from Esposito, but that does not matter. We're into a quarter-final. We are facing up the red and white side of Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and they are a very, very strong side at this point in the rebuild. Sales scores to make it 1-0 for them, but Bogdan Mirochetovic gets potentially a little lucky from the free kick and deflection, making it 1-0 for Grajanovic. Gets in a really poor shot. I don't know how he's even gone for that. It falls to Tarakiani, a wonder kid through the academy, to make it 2-1 before Atletico Madrid get down the right-hand side. Samuel Moraider finds Gonzalo Ramos to make it 2-2. And this time we were back at the Puskas Academy, and Samuel Moraider made it 1-0 thanks to a header from a cross from Dominic Szoboszlai. But we are a even better side, and Mikey Moore makes it 1-1, and we're going to win 4-3 on aggregate as Heriberto Arado finds Kostic to find Bogdan Mirochetovic, and we're in to a Champions League semi-final. I've got no idea how that has happened, but here we are. And we faced City 4 or 5 years ago, and they beat us 1-0 and then 5-0, I think. Hopefully not similar here. Yeri Pino scores to make it 1-0, and Haaland scores from the spot to make it 2-0. But we are going to grab a goal back at the Etihad Stadium. You can see all the seats are empty. No fans there whatsoever. A 2-1 loss. A fantastic finish from Gutierrez, who set up a finale, well, a semi-finale in our home ground. And I just simply cannot explain what has happened in this game. City for the whole game had 4 shots, 1 on target, and played 5-3-2-1. I've got no idea the tactical insight as to why they did this, but they did it, and we are 2-0 up, and we are going to go 3-0 up thanks to a header from a Daisy at the back stick, and we're now 4-2 on aggregate. And we're going to make it 5-2 on aggregate. Now, there's going to be a lot of calls here saying there's some tomfoolery going on. And you're well within your right to, because little old Puskas Academia shouldn't be beating City 4-0, should they? It should be literally impossible. Well, in terms of their manager, it is Antonio Conte, who plays a 5-2-3 system in terms of the game status, because I know people will want to know this. If there's an editor enabled, no editor enabled. Trust me, it's just what happened. A battering of Manchester City sets up a Champions League final. Where, of course, we're playing against the inevitable Real Madrid, and they go 1-0 up thanks to a goal from Luca Netz, and things were looking very sad all the way until the 93rd minute, where Heriberto Arado takes a swing. He scores to make it 1-1 in the 111th minute. Martin Kern finds João Vitor, drives through the defence. A 2-1 victory, and the Puskas Academia are Champions League winners. 11 seasons this has taken as a grind, but the best thing is our captain, our player of the match for this game was Martin Kern. What a legend. Martin, if you're watching this, you're a hero. I love you. You're an absolute goat. But overall, what has taken a long old time, a long old slog, 11 seasons to make us Champions League winners. And I would say we used the Moneyball approach for 95% of this. As mentioned, finances-wise, there was a little bit more spent than sold, but that's just what you have to do at this point. We've grown the club to be worth £150 million in the bank, a £75 million transfer budget, a wage budget of a million. If anyone wants to pick this up on Patreon, it is a fantastically fun save to have. Now with a 5-star youth recruitment, maybe turn this into a build a nation of Hungary. Let me know if you want me to do that, because I could very easily carry this on as a build a nation of Hungary. They're currently 48 ranked. Let me know. I'd be happy to do that. If you guys want to see it, we can get it done. Thank you for watching the video. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll speak to you next time.